Oh, good morning. There I am. Let me lower this down some. Okay, so I want to talk about something serious, okay? I have spoken with a lot of people in the last few months who, of course, have been concerned about their health, as we all are these days. And so many of them have said, oh, well, yeah, wait, let's just wait till the presidential election. Let's just wait till the new year. Let's just wait till the inauguration. I'm just real concerned about these things. And really, listen, guys, if that's how you've been handling your health, putting things off over things that you have no control over, you're doing yourself a disservice, okay? At my age, which is 69, I am old enough to, people that I know that I've known for years are starting to die. I'm in the age group where it's not unusual to die. I know people who are in their 70s, 80s, and 90s, and some of them are gone. Unfortunately, I know some people in their 30s, 40s, and 50s who were going along. Everything was fine. It was fine. They, didn't feel any pressure to make any changes in how they lived their lives because everything was just fine. Until one day, they had some sort of episode, a visit to the emergency room, found out they were diabetic, had heart disease, or died. I know some people who, and I feel terrible about it because they put off doing something about their health, the one thing that we all can have control over. They put it off, diverting their thoughts to other things. Oh yeah, let me wait until this, let me wait until that. And some of them are dead now. I'm not, I'm not trying to shock or scare anybody, but I'm trying to be honest here. As human beings, you and I have a tendency to say, well, yeah, I'll take care of this later. We tend to put off things that we might understand, intellectually are a concern, and maybe we feel we should do something about them. But we're not aware that there's a problem. We're not seriously out of breath all the time, or the doctor hasn't said you need to make a change right now because your blood pressure is so high that you are in danger of having a stroke at any time, or you haven't been taken to the hospital because of some sort of emergency where you need to make changes in your health. So we have a tendency, when there's not some sort of pretty consistent reminder that's happening to us personally, we have a tendency to feel like we can put it off. And what I want to say is, some people put it off and they get away with it. But some people put it off and then it comes up and blindsides them, and all of a sudden, they're on insulin, or they're on all kinds of heart and cholesterol and blood pressure medicine, or, they're having to get dialysis for their kidneys, or, I don't know, all sorts of things. We don't like to look at what's the worst that could happen because we hope the worst won't happen. But at the same time, we don't look at what's the best that could happen. A lot of us tend to think, well, I just keep on living my life the way it is. I mean, things may not be great, but things are not terrible. Could be worse. So listen, going back to the example of like the inauguration, okay, I had people who said, well, just wait because, well, I won't go into all the reasons. Some of them seemed to me rather far-fetched that they didn't want to make any big decisions before the inauguration. But in all due respect, you're entitled to your opinion, okay? But the thing is, let's be reasonable and take control over what each of us can control, okay? So many of us get so stressed out over all kinds of things going on in the world and around us, even in our workplace and family and, or the traffic, the checkout line at the supermarket. I mean, we get stressed out over all kinds of things. And sometimes we even have a sense of, that somehow we're doing something because we're getting stressed out and we're concerned. Look, just, knock yourself in the head and say, wait a minute. Go look in the mirror and talk to yourself and say, Sylvia, or whatever your name is, what's the one thing that you can control in your life? Okay, well, two things. One is how I respond to situations. I have a choice. And then also, I have control to a large extent over my health. Am I going to take that control, or am I just going to live dangerously and do whatever? Well, like I've chosen to take control of my health. I have so much more of a sense of peace about my life because I know that I am trying to be healthy in whatever way I am able. And, like in regards to COVID, for example, it makes me less likely, even though I'm in a high-risk group because of my age, it makes me less likely to develop severe complications because otherwise I'm healthy, I don't know how else to say it, but I bet that any of you, well, even if you're not older, you probably know people who seem just fine and then all of a sudden they're gone. Yeah, we've all got to go sometime, but you do have some say in it. And obviously I'm not talking about accidents, or something like that, or you catch some disease or something. But in your everyday overall health, you can choose to eat right, to move around some, don't just sit around like a bump on a log, drink a lot of fluids, no, not alcohol. And no, not coffee. A little bit okay, but drink water. You have control, hopefully, over your surroundings. You don't have to keep the house full of junk food. Or if you do, at least put it out of sight. You have a lot of control over your mental health, the choices that you make, the way you choose to think about things, dealing with past things that have maybe had an adverse effect on you and, working on them. See a counselor. My gosh. I mean, there's help out there. I don't want to see people, being sick and dying and stuff like that when they could have done something about it. And I mean, I know, I'm sort of talking about health and then, the other side of it sounds like this really grim thing. But in fact, it is. I know people who were going to do something about their health. They were going to do it, and they never did it, and their health got them in the end. Also, I just want to address one other little thing. in case you fall into this category or you know somebody who does. So I know some people who have had things happen with their health and the doctor said, okay, you need to start doing this or that. Let's say you need to start going to this program, to educate you and help you to make some changes in your life. And they go to it and they feel like, okay, I've fulfilled that responsibility. I've ticked off that box. And they gradually go back to their old way of life because they sort of only intellectually absorbed the fact that, yes, okay, I need to do this, but they didn't replace the unhealthy habits in their life that caused them or contributed to them getting where they were to begin with. Don't fool yourself. If you're going to get healthy, get healthy. Don't say, oh, well, I go to the gym all the time, but then you kind of eat things that are really not good for you. Speaking of that, you can't outrun your fork. Did you know that healthy weight is 80% what you eat and only about 20% going at the gym or doing other exercises? I don't know, it's a really big subject. I'm kind of jumping from thing to thing, but my main point, and I'll finish here, okay? My main point is, if you're spending all kinds of time worried and stressed and concerned over what's going on out there, that's not going to change anything. Be concerned about what's going on in here, in you, because that you can effect a change on. That you can have an effect on. You can change the course of your life. And a lot of that has to do with your health. Okay, I invite comments on this. Some people, I hope I haven't offended anybody with being really, upfront and in your face about some of this stuff. But I think that we need to face reality and stop putting off, oh, I'll do it after the new year, oh, well, when the weather gets warm, I'll start taking off weight, so I'll look good this summer. Or don't put it off. Do it now.